The woman you most desire, the figure who occupies your thoughts and compels you to seek the right way to be, may never fall in love with you. Not in the way you're currently attempting, with that energy of someone seeking approval, of someone molding themselves to fit an imaginary mold. I know this realization can sting, like an unexpected blow on a battlefield where you believed you had the perfect strategy. But take a deep breath. Allow this truth, however uncomfortable, to settle in. Because it is precisely this clarity, this acceptance of what is, that can liberate you from a lifetime of frustration, of futile efforts, and of an emptiness you desperately try to fill with external validation. You may have harbored the notion that winning over a woman is merely a matter of following a script, uttering the correct phrases, projecting a strength that is often merely a facade, flaunting a rehearsed-sounding intellect, or projecting a success that doesn't mirror your core being. However, all of this, at its heart, is merely emotional artifice. It's an endeavor to conceal what you dread she might perceive. And cosmetics, as we well know, are transient. They wash away with time, with intimacy, with those quiet moments where one's true essence inevitably surfaces. And when she gazes beyond the superficial, when she senses who you truly are internally, what will she discover? If what she senses is insecurity masked as bravado, neediness painted as romanticism, or fear camouflaged as kindness, she will, without question, withdraw. And she will do so without explanation, without warning, because her heart does not respond to such artifice. A woman's heart, when it truly opens, responds to a different energy. It responds to authentic presence, to a steadfastness that doesn't shout but is felt. And if there is a philosophy that teaches you to cultivate this inner strength, this unshakable serenity, it is Stoicism. It shows you, with stark and non-negotiable clarity, that you do not control others. You only control yourself. The Stoic man, the one who is truly attractive, does not chase desperately. He does not force, does not beg, does not try to convince at any cost. He lives aligned with what he believes in, with a clarity of purpose, with a calm that seeks to prove nothing to anyone. And this calm, this tranquility of one who is not seeking external validation, is incredibly magnetic. She perceives it, even without understanding the mechanics behind it. She feels it, and she draws closer. Most men, however, do the opposite. They make promises too soon, send flowers prematurely, declare their feelings in moments of sheer anxiety. Why? Because they cannot tolerate silence. They cannot stand the space the relationship needs to breathe and develop naturally. They cannot bear the doubt which, when managed well, is an invitation to introspection and growth. And a man who cannot tolerate emptiness, who needs to fill it immediately with his own insecurities, ends up scaring people away. Now listen carefully. A woman doesn't want a perfect man. She wants a whole man. And you only become whole when you stop frantically seeking, externally, what you should be building within yourself. The problem isn't a lack of words, but the absence of truth behind them. A word that isn't born from experience, that isn't seasoned by lived reality, sounds like a rehearsal, and a rehearsal, no matter how well executed, rarely truly moves people. When you live with coherence, your actions speak for you. And when you speak, your voice carries the truth of your journey, and that truth touches, attracts, and endures. This isn't about magic formulas, about ready-made phrases that promise results. It's about energy, about posture, about a kind of strength that doesn't need to shout to be felt. And here's a secret that almost no one tells you. True conquest happens in silence. It's when you are simply present, calm, whole, without forcing anything, that she begins to imagine who you are, to build her own narrative about you. This is the silent power of the Stoic man. He is not the loudest, but the most stable. He doesn't try to stand out at any cost, he simply doesn't lose himself. And in times of such superficiality, this constancy is pure gold. So, remember this: don't conquer, attract. Don't try, be. Don't chase, walk with purpose. The right woman won't be won over by your desperate effort. She will be captivated by the man who has found peace within himself, by his own company. Have you ever stopped to consider why most men fail when attempting to win over a woman they genuinely desire? It's because they fixate entirely on the woman, neglecting themselves in the process. Yes, they begin to overanalyze her preferences, her wants, her expectations, and gradually, they start to mold themselves, adjust, and lose sight of who they are until they become a diluted version of their true selves. And do you know what the problem with that is? Every woman of substance recognizes when a man is attempting to be someone he's not. This, in turn, triggers her instinct to withdraw. Because confidence isn't about eloquent speech, it's about presence. It's about being precisely who you are, with clarity and composure, without pretense, without force. Now, listen to this. One of the paramount principles of Stoicism is to live in accordance with nature. And you know what your masculine nature demands? Consistency. It's futile to seek to win over a woman by being agreeable if, internally, you harbor resentment towards the world. It's pointless to be kind if what you genuinely feel is insecurity. It's of no use to feign interest if you yourself are uncertain of your own desires. A woman perceives this dissonance. She may not be able to articulate it, but she senses when you are not wholly present, when you are feigning stability to gain approval. And what's worse, she tests you. She will delay her response, provoke you with a remark, disappear for a day, not out of malice, but because this is natural. She needs to ascertain if you possess emotional fortitude. And here lies the most brutal part. The majority fail the test. They commence sending excessive messages, demanding too much, over-justifying themselves, attempting to fix what was never broken. In doing so, they forfeit the scant respect they had managed to cultivate. Want a harsh truth? You don't need to be perfect, but you do need to be stable. You don't need all the answers, but you do need to know how to listen. You don't need to control anything external, but above all else, you need to control yourself. This is silent power, and this is what the Stoic practices every day. Now, hold on to this tightly. A woman falls in love with your peace, not your unbridled intensity. Peace isn't passivity, it's wholeness. And whole men don't crumble due to uncertainty. They know what they feel, they know what they seek, they know who they are. And this places them on a different emotional frequency. And this frequency attracts, not because you're actively trying, but because you've become what she was looking for, often without even knowing she was looking. This is why Stoicism is more than just a philosophy. It's a way of life that permeates everything. In how you look, in how you listen, in how you remain steadfast even when everything around you is in flux. The woman senses this inner strength and is drawn to you. But not because you frantically pursued her, but because you became the man she was looking for while perhaps evading other relationship dynamics. The focus shifts from how to win her over to how to become the man who naturally attracts. And herein lies a crucial nuance. What you tolerate within yourself, you ultimately attract in others. If you tolerate your own lack of discipline, procrastination, and internal disorganization, you are likely to attract individuals who also do not value order and purpose. Conversely, if you demand consistency from yourself, if you value integrity and self-discipline, this energy becomes a magnet for relationships that mirror these same values. The woman seeking a mature and stable partner senses the difference. She perceives the absence of drama, the capacity to handle frustrations without crumbling, the steadfastness of character that is unshaken by any setback. This security that you exude, because you cultivate it internally, is a potent aphrodisiac, far more effective than any superficial seduction technique. She doesn't need to vocalize it, but this emotional self-sufficiency of yours, this ability to sustain yourself, ignites within her a profound sense of admiration and security. She realizes you are not there to be filled, but to share a space of mutual growth. And this perception, this certainty that you are a safe harbor, is what truly draws her in and makes her stay. As we intertwine the threads of our reflections, we perceive that the path to genuine connection and enduring love lies not in the ceaseless pursuit of external validation, but rather in the construction of an inner sanctuary. We have observed that the force which truly attracts is not that which imposes itself with ostentation, but rather that which emanates from the serenity of self-knowledge, the integrity that requires no justification, and the resilience that blossoms even in the face of adversity. This journey, far from being a frenzied race for validation, reveals itself as a profound immersion into one's own essence, a constant cultivation of the noblest within us, so that our presence becomes an irresistible invitation, an anchor amidst life's tempests. It is within this rhythm of self-awareness and self-worth that the true mastery of attraction is unveiled. The complexities of human interactions, the subtleties of emotions, and the pursuit of deeper meaning in our relationships become clearer when we understand that our greatest influence resides in how we navigate our own inner universe. The ability to maintain composure under pressure, to respond with wisdom rather than react impulsively, and to honor our own principles, even when the external world suggests otherwise, creates a unique energetic field, a silent call that resonates with those seeking authenticity and depth. Reflecting on this journey thus far, the image that emerges is that of a patient artisan, meticulously honing their masterpiece with unwavering dedication and precision. Each surmounted challenge, each comprehended emotion, each decision grounded in reason and virtue, adds a new layer of beauty and resilience to the edifice we are constructing. It is not about perfection, but about wholeness. Not about the absence of flaws, but about the courage to embrace them and transmute them into wisdom. It is in this continuous process of refinement that we become not merely more appealing to others, but, fundamentally, more deserving of our own self-respect and admiration. The art of being, in its purest expression, is what truly captivates and sustains. As we approach the culmination, clarity intensifies. The puzzle pieces align, revealing a tableau of quiet strength and unshakable magnetism. The insight into what truly matters, what genuinely sustains and nurtures, emerges with a resurgent force. The realization that our greatest achievement lies in becoming the most authentic version of ourselves, irrespective of external circumstances or the approbation of others, positions us in a realm of power and equanimity. It is from this unassailable foundation that the most meaningful and enduring relationships blossom, not as a prize to be claimed, but as an organic reflection of who we have become. The journey we have embarked upon, unraveling Stoic principles applied to the art of attracting and being attracted, leads us to a point of profound realization. This is not about manipulative techniques or strategies to win someone's affection, but rather a deep internal transformation. We understand that the force that truly captivates is not one manifested in grand gestures or rehearsed words, but rather that which emanates from the serenity of an integral spirit, the clarity of a well-defined purpose, and the resilience that blossoms in the face of life's inevitable storms. True attraction, in its purest and most enduring form, is not an act of conquest, but a silent invitation to connection, a reflection of the peace we find within ourselves. We perceive that the relentless pursuit of external validation, the endeavor to conform to others' expectations, is the swiftest route to the dissolution of one's very being. When we strive to please, to become who we believe another desires, we forfeit our essence, dilute our strength, and render ourselves predictable, so predictable, in fact, that we shed the mystery and allure that naturally define us. The woman seeking a partner of substance does not desire a mere reflection of her own wants, but rather a mirror of her own strength and integrity. She is drawn to steadfast character, to the capacity for composure amidst chaos, to an authenticity that does not shy away from revealing one's vulnerabilities, not as a sign of weakness, but as a testament to humanity and courage. This authentic presence, this state of wholeness, is what truly disarms and captivates. The Stoic lesson that resonates most profoundly is that our power lies in our response to circumstances, not in the circumstances themselves. Rejection, uncertainty, interpersonal challenges, all these lose their capacity to destabilize us when we learn to cultivate an inner garden of self-reliance and self-compassion. The true practice commences now, not in some idealized future, but in the present moment, in the conscious choice to be who we are, with all our nuances and imperfections, and in the courage to live in accordance with our highest principles. By becoming the bedrock of our own existence, we construct an emotional fortress that not only shields us but also radiates outward, drawing to us that which truly resonates with our essence. The journey to becoming the man you would respect is, ultimately, the journey to becoming the man who attracts the love you deserve.